All right, wonderful people, welcome back to this wonderful channel where we'll bring you back-to-back update and information as it is hot. In case you have not joined our social media handle, what are you waiting for? Kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, share, and also remember to on your notification button so that whenever our news drop, you will be the first. Well, collect them. Let's go down to the news proper as it is hot. The new ohanezendigbo leader has called for the release of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Ohamadike one of Ndigbo. Let's go down to the full detail of that particular information. Of course, you know that Ohanezendigbo has elected a new leader after the demise of the former president of Ohanezendigbo, Nani Iwuanyanwu. But one thing, one significant thing, or one thing to look at that has actually happened in the seat and position of ohanezendigbo is that most of them dies in this office. Remember Obiozo, remember the other person, and also remember Emmanuel Iwuanyanwu. Now the new person has come in. Should I say it's old age or something like that? But I'm just, saying my observation. Meanwhile, let's go down to the full detail of that particular information. Mr. Kanu, who is facing terrorism charges at the Federal High Court in Abuja, has been in detention since he was repatriated to Nigeria from Kenya in June 2021 under controversial circumstances. The newly elected President General of Ohanezendigbo Worldwide, Fidelis Chukwu, has called on the Nigerian government to release Nnamdi Kanu. Mr. Chukwu spoke during his inaugural meeting with the National Executive Committee, NEC, of the Igbo Social-Cultural Organization in Enugu on Sunday. Details of his speech were contained in a statement issued on Tuesday by the spokesperson of the Ohanezendigbo, Chiedozie Ogbonnia. Mr. Kanu, who is facing terrorism charges at the Federal High Court in Abuja, is the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. The IPOB leader has been in detention since he was repatriated to Nigeria from Kenya in June 2021 under controversial circumstances. Speaking at the inaugural meeting, Mr. Chukwu stressed that the release of Mr. Kanu has become a moral burden on the Nigerian government. The Ohaneze leader contended that there was no sufficient reason for the country's security operatives' prolonged detention of Mr. Kanu. He told the NEC members that he would collaborate with some Igbo leaders in government to secure the release of the IPOB leader through a collective effort. All right. This is coming from Mr. Chukwu. Mr. Chukwu is saying this one that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be released from the DSS detention. Of course, there was something Sowore. Of course, you know Sowore, the founder and owner of Sahara Reporters. He on a video broadcast, he spoke on how some Igbo elites, some Igbo leaders are the ones who are behind making sure that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is released from the DSS detention because they are using him as their political dog. In other words, they are using him to get their members. Of course, if you watch, you will find out that anybody that is seeking one position or the other in Igbo usually mentions Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's name. If that person wants to become governor, a senator, or whatever, even the late Ifeanyi Oba did same thing, where Kanu's name was also mentioned. He even went to the DSS detention with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's wife to visit him, what he has not done before, but recently he started doing it because somehow he has started nursing the bid and the desire to become the governor of Anambra State, even though he did not live to see what becomes of his desire or what becomes of his quest to become the governor of Anambra State. As it be, the governor of Anambra State had declared amnesty for criminals in Anambra State, promising that anybody who comes out and drops their arm will be forgiven, and also they will be provided with other amenities to start a better life. But immediately after he declared that, government don't buy one person, abduct another. Same day, Soludo announced that amnesty for criminals. Let's go down to the full detail of that information. Gunmen operating in Anambra State on Tuesday night shot dead an unidentified man, abducting one more from his vehicle. The two men were attacked in the Fiteduni community, Dunukofia local government area, while traveling in Nissan SUV with Lagos registration number SMK 439HJ. This happened the same day that the state governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, announced total war against criminals in the state while also giving amnesty to repentant criminals. A viral video circulating on social media showed the body of the slain man in the car while the driver, who was traveling with him, was abducted by the criminals. Members of the Fedinu community vigilante who rushed to the scene said the incident happened around 8 p.m. A voice in the video said the men were chased from a neighboring community to Ifitedunu by men driving an ash-colored Lexus Jeep. They said items in the car showed that the men were returning for Christmas while calling on anyone who knew the vehicle or the slain occupant to come for them. As for the time of filing the report, the Anambra State Police Command was yet to react to the incident. This happened in Anambra State. I think this was part of the video I posted today. Obodaya Adeloko. Imagine leaving your workplace, coming down to your hometown, and that is where you meet your Waterloo. It is very bad. All right, in Ogun State, ex-Attorney General breaks silence over death sentence, challenges governor's intervention. Former Oyo State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice Mutalubi Adebayo has cautioned against unconstitutional investigation following Osun State Governor Ademola Adelike's intervention in the controversial death sentence of a young man, Segun Olowokore, in the state. Justice Oyejide Fulala of an Osun State High Court in Okuku had convicted Olowokore on Sunday Marakinyo of armed robbery and sentenced them to death by hanging after finding them guilty of charges involving theft and armed robbery in December 2014. The two convicts, armed with firearms, were reported to have forcefully entered the residence of a police officer, Balogun Tope, attached to Divisional Police Headquarters in Okuku in April 2010, stealing his belongings. After a podcast by Nollywood actor Biola Adeboye, which featured the parents of one of the convicts, Olore, went viral on Tuesday, Governor Adeleke, in a statement by his spokesperson, Olore Rashid, directed an investigation and the initiation of a pardon process for the convict. Reacting to the governor's directive in a statement he personally signed and made available to journalists in Oshobo on Wednesday, Adebayo acknowledged the governor's constitutional power to pardon convicts, but criticized what he described as an unconstitutional investigation. Adebayo also warned against actions that could endanger judges and expose them to threats from criminals, potential leading to loss of life. The senior lawyer urged government and the public to avoid being misled by bloggers and social media commentators spreading half-truth and falsehood to verify and harass the judiciary. All right, he has a point there. I think if the governor is granting a pardon, there should be a proper investigation to be sure that someone the pardon is being given to merit it. But as it is, Governor Soludo has said that if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is released today, that even the government in Anambra State will not listen to him. Remember that the insecurity in Anambra State started in 2021 after Kanu was extraordinary rendition from Kenya to Nigeria. But Soludo said something. Remember that a lot of southeastern politicians, even from other tribes, have been, calling for Kanu's release. That will quell the issue of the insecurity that ravaged Anambra State. And they have called for his release, that when he is released, that some of these things will stop. because most of these criminals are hiding under the umbrella of IPOB to perpetrate their evil activities. But the governor of Anambra State, Chukwuma Charles Soludo, have said something. Professor Chukwuma Soludo, the governor of Anambra State, has expressed skepticism regarding the ability of the release of Nnamdi Kanu, the imprisoned leader of IPOB, to reduce insecurity in the southeast. During a press conference in Amobia, the governor emphasized how the Biafran struggle has been manipulated by criminal elements. According to Punch, he claimed that they are committing violent and organized crimes under the guise of Kanu's name and the cause. Soludo voiced doubt, saying, even if Nnamdi Kanu is released today, I'm not sure they will listen to him. He clarified that these organizations, now driven by financial gain rather than initial agitation for liberation, the movement's ideological objectives have been supplanted by violent crimes like armed robbery, kidnapping, and other violent crime, posing a major security threat to the area. The governor went on to say that Igbo people made up the great majority of those arrested for criminals in Anambra over the past 2 years, with a lot of them being non-indigenous. He criticized some communities for their complicity in aiding these criminals, as residents frequently see the criminals as liberators and security forces as enemies. To combat these escalating insecurity, Soludo declared the intention to launch Operation Udogachi, Operation Peace Shall Reign, a security campaign for the entire state that will begin in January. Well, the governor of Anambra State, you have said what is good, but I think you should also put for Kanu's release, because I think if he is released, then we will know who is who and who is doing what and what is doing who. Meanwhile, this is where I'll be winding down the curtain. And if this is your first time of joining us, kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, and share. And also remember to on your notification button so that whenever our news drop, you'll be the first we'll collect them. Thank you for listening. God bless you.